In September of 2021, a British YouTuber named Colin uploaded a rather disturbing video titled "Exploring an Abandoned Hospital" to his channel The Bearded Explorer. His channel primarily focuses on urban exploration, and he frequently posts footage of his strange encounters while exploring various haunted and abandoned buildings. In this particular video, Colin decided to explore an abandoned hospital known as the Zachary Merton Ward, situated in Stanmore, England. Constructed in 1936, it was one of the first dedicated rehabilitation facilities in the UK. This was a crucial step in advancing patient care at that time, as there was a growing recognition of the need for specialized care for patients with chronic conditions. However, as medical technology and rehabilitation practices evolved, the need for older facilities like the Zachary Merton Ward diminished. The ward was ultimately shut down in the mid-1980s. Since then, the hospital has been completely abandoned for over 40 years and has gained a reputation for being haunted. One of the most famous paranormal sightings linked with the ward is that of the Grey Lady. She is typically described as a figure dressed in gray, believed to be the spirit of a former patient or staff member. Some witnesses have reported seeing her walking through the ward, while others have felt her presence without actually seeing her. Despite all this, Colin chose to explore the haunted hospital on his own. As he began his exploration and stepped foot inside the hospital, he immediately noticed the terrible condition of the building, with crumbling walls and ceilings along with piles of paper and junk scattered everywhere. During this time, he mentioned that this was one of the creepiest places he'd ever been in and was nothing like he'd ever explored before. As he explored further, he discovered stacks of old furniture and medical equipment left behind. Everything up to this point seemed to be going pretty smoothly for Colin, as he didn't hear or see anything unusual. However, as he made his way into the hallway, he started hearing some pretty bizarre noises, and that's when things started to take a very disturbing turn for Colin.
Do you know, I've been to a lot of buildings and places on my own, but this place here is giving me the chills like you wouldn't believe it. I think this place closed back in the 1980s. You know, it's been empty for a very, very long time. I'm actually surprised it's still here. Normally they bring these places down, like... What's that? Oh, I'm hearing noises in here now. That wasn't nice. It sounded like footsteps. That was really creepy. There is so much stuff in here. Oh, what was that? I don't think there's anyone else in here. I'm sure there isn't. I keep hearing these weird noises. It's an empty, disused building. There's probably all sorts of animals and things in here.
After Colin heard the noises, he initially didn't think much of it. But when he heard the noise again, he ultimately concluded that it must belong to an animal and immediately got back to his exploration. However, as he explored the remaining parts of the building, he started hearing the noises once again.
Cool. Well, I think that is pretty much everything, guys. I think that's the whole site done. So take a walk back downstairs. Now I'm going to do some pictures, do some cinematics, and then I think we can make a move. Fuck. Hello?
As Colin was filming the window, he suddenly heard a loud banging noise coming from the hallway. He immediately went towards the noise to investigate its source, but unfortunately he found nothing that could have caused such a loud bang. Nevertheless, Colin didn't back down and continued with his exploration. However, as he was exploring one of the rooms, that's when he encountered something that sent him running out of the building.
What the hell is that? Starting to be some really weird stuff in here. Oh, fuck!
According to Colin, while he was walking through the hallway, he suddenly heard a loud bang. This immediately sent him running, and as he picked up his camera, he claimed to have seen a figure standing behind the blue chair before it vanished right before his eyes. Although his camera didn't capture the figure, he did identify a point in the footage where a figure can be seen standing, but it is still a mystery if this was a figure standing or merely just a shadow of some sort. However, the mystery surrounding the figure doesn't end here. After Colin uploaded this video to his channel, he uploaded another video where he returned to the haunted hospital a month later to investigate further. However, little did Colin know that what he was about to encounter this time would be far worse than anything he'd experienced during his previous visit.
Cannot believe that I'm doing this on my own at night. Definitely not going up that way first, I'm going this way first. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Oh my God, it is absolutely freezing in here. It is absolutely freezing. There's no windows open in here. Every single window is boarded. Ooh, ooh. Okay, whoa. Okay, that was creepy. It felt like I bumped into someone, but there's no one there. Literally, I step into this room here. The temperature change from there to here. Now, that is really strange.
As soon as Colin entered one of the rooms, he noticed that the temperature inside was significantly colder, and the moment he stepped back out, the temperature returned to normal. This detail is particularly alarming, given that many paranormal experts claim cold spots may indicate the presence of a ghost. The theory is that when a spirit moves, it absorbs heat from the environment, and therefore creates a cold spot within its path. Nevertheless, Colin didn't think much of this detail and continued with his exploration. However, just moments later, as he walked through the hallway, that's when he stumbled upon something truly disturbing.
Why am I here on my own, walking around this abandoned hospital that I saw something? I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a ghost. I mean, I can show you guys now, right? I saw something just behind that blue chair. Now, bearing in mind I saw it with my own eyes, I didn't realise I had it on camera. Let's do this. What the hell was that? I'm sure I heard something. I don't know. It's probably just the wind. Okay, this is the worst part for me. Whoa. I think it is just Whoa. Okay, that's scary. God, this is absolutely... What the fuck? No, I'm hearing noises all around me. I don't know what it is. I am just so terrified right now. I can hear noises. I don't know whether it's pigeons in the loft. I don't know if it's stuff falling from the ceilings. It must be.
After hearing the noises, Colin initially dismissed them as a pigeon. However, after hearing a similar noise several more times, he immediately went towards the noise to investigate its source. But unfortunately, he found nothing that could have caused those noises. He then left the hallway and went upstairs to explore the remaining parts of the building. During his exploration, Colin again felt the sudden shift in temperature, but he didn't back down and continued exploring. However, that's when he started hearing the noises once again, but this time they were louder and closer.
Goosebumps on my whole body right now are just... You could probably strike a match off my skin. Look at this little... What was that? What was that? What the hell was that? Fuck. I think it's just stuff falling from the ceiling, but it's bloody frightening the life out of me. Why does it look like a leg sticking out that door out there? It's not, but... Oh! I've just got all these ideas going through my head at the moment. Whoa. There's someone in there. That can't be. No. There's no one in here. There is nobody in here. It's just me. Hello? Oh, fuck. There's no one in here.
After Colin heard the loud bang, he immediately ran off, but eventually went back to investigate its source. Once again, despite searching everywhere, he found nothing that could have caused such a loud bang. By this point, Colin was consumed by fear and anxiety over everything he'd been witnessing that night. As a result, he decided to end his exploration and exit the building. However, just as Colin was trying to leave, that's when he encountered something that sent him running out of the building.
Oh, God, okay. Oh, I've never been so scared. I've never been so scared. I'm getting out of here. I've had enough. Fuck that. Fuck that. That was weird. That was really, really weird. What is it about this place? Oh, I hate this place, I really do. Just listen. Shit.
If you look closely at the footage, you can clearly see a red ball mysteriously rolling out of the room. Colin, upon spotting the ball, immediately rushes out of the building and safely makes it back to his car. It's still a mystery whether what Colin encountered that night was paranormal or not, along with the mystery of how the ball suddenly rolled out of the room, or whether the figure Colin claimed to have seen during his initial visit was somehow responsible for throwing the ball. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide whether Zachary Merton Ward in England was truly haunted or not. In September of 2015, a YouTuber named Dan uploaded a terrifying video titled "Exploring Creepy Abandoned Children's Asylum" to his channel. This is Dan Bell. His channel is dedicated to urban exploration, and he's been documenting footage of his bizarre encounters in various abandoned locations for over a decade. In this particular video, Dan decided to explore an abandoned children's asylum known as the Gundry Sanitarium, situated in Baltimore, Maryland. Constructed in 1880, the Gundry Sanitarium was one of the first private mental health facilities in Maryland. It played a significant role in providing essential care to those with psychiatric needs. Originally dedicated to treating nervous disorders in women, the facility later expanded its services to include care for children with acute psychiatric issues. This transition reflected the growing recognition of children's mental health concerns at the time. However, over the years, the facility faced challenges in adapting to the evolving landscape of mental health care. As a result, it was ultimately shut down in the early 2000s. Since then, the facility has been completely abandoned and has gained a reputation for being haunted. There have been multiple reports from urban explorers and ghost hunters claiming to have seen spirits of former patients. These reports often include accounts of strange noises, cold spots, and feelings of being watched. Despite all this, Dan chose to go on a solo exploration of the abandoned asylum. As he began his exploration, Dan showed his viewers the building's poor condition, with crumbling walls and ceilings. Some structures even appeared as if they could collapse at any given moment. As he explored further, he came across piles of junk and trash scattered everywhere. The first few minutes of his video went pretty smoothly, as he didn't hear or see anything unusual. However, just moments later, while exploring one of the rooms, that's when Dan encountered something truly disturbing.
Shit. Fucking battery exploded.
According to Dan, after he heard the footsteps, he didn't think much of them and dismissed them as an animal walking around the building. But disturbingly, just moments after hearing the noise, his camera's battery suddenly exploded. Dan, again thinking this was probably a coincidence, dismissed this detail. He then quickly replaced the battery and started recording again. However, that's when his camera captured something that completely changed the course of his investigation. If you look closely at the footage, you can clearly see the shadow of someone or something hiding inside the room. But Dan was completely unaware of this detail at the time and continued exploring. As Dan went upstairs to explore the rest of the building, that's when his camera captured something once again. If you look closely at the point when Dan walks towards the door, you can see what appears to be an eye peeking out of the hole before it suddenly disappears. But Dan once again didn't notice this detail at the time. It wasn't until he reviewed the footage later that he saw the eyes peeking out of the hole. Dan, unaware of any of these chilling encounters, continued with his exploration. However, as he stepped inside one of the rooms, that's when he started hearing voices coming out of an empty room. It's evident that a fast whisper can be heard just as Dan was looking at the red stains. Although it's hard to comprehend what it said, one particular comment from Dan's original video makes this encounter even more disturbing. The comment mentions that the voice sounded like someone saying, "I was shot here." After reading this particular comment, it does sound like the voice said, "I was shot here." If this is actually the case, then this encounter becomes very alarming, given that Dan was directly looking at the red stains. This could explain why the voice said it was shot there. But again, this is merely a theory based on a comment left by Dan's viewer and has not been verified or debunked. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide whether Dan's encounter in the children's asylum was paranormal or simply a squatter or homeless individual stalking him. In May of 2024, a YouTuber named Chris Hill uploaded a chilling video titled "Terrifying Encounter at Night" to his channel, Urbex Hill. Chris's channel is dedicated to urban exploration, and he frequently documents footage of his bizarre encounters while exploring various abandoned locations throughout the United States. In this particular video, Chris decided to explore an abandoned school known as Robert Fulton Elementary School, situated in Cleveland, Ohio. Constructed in 1929, Robert Fulton Elementary School was a prominent educational institution in Cleveland. The school was dedicated to providing quality education to its students and offered a diverse range of educational programs that catered to the unique needs of its student body. However, over the years, the school faced a period of decline due to a combination of factors. As a result, the school was officially shut down in 2013. After serving its community for 84 years. Since then, the school has been completely abandoned for almost 13 years and has become a hotspot for criminal activity. The neighborhood itself is considered one of the roughest areas in Cleveland. In the video, Chris set out to explore the school alone in the middle of the night. It's important to mention that this wasn't Chris's first visit to the school. He had indeed explored it 3 years prior, and during that visit, he had a very disturbing encounter. Despite this chilling encounter, Chris returned to the abandoned school to investigate whether the man he'd encountered before was still living there. As Chris stepped inside the school, he immediately noticed the poor condition of the building and mentioned that the structures inside were even worse than what he'd seen before. As he explored further, he started walking into the room where he'd previously seen the man hiding, but this time he didn't encounter him. The first few minutes of his exploration seemed to be going smoothly, as he didn't hear or see anything unusual. It seemed like Chris was completely alone inside the building, as the man he'd seen before had probably left by this point. However, just moments later, as Chris was walking down the hallway, that's when he encountered something truly disturbing.
I heard something. Oh shit. You hear that? I thought I heard somebody walking. It sounded like somebody was in there walking and talking. That freaked me the out.
After Chris heard someone talking on the lower level, he initially hid inside one of the rooms, but after hearing the sound of footsteps, he built up his courage and eventually went downstairs to investigate their source. However, as he investigated one of the rooms, that's when he made a shocking discovery.
This place is horrible. Oh, it's bats. Oh shit.
If you look closely at the point when Chris looks inside the room, you can clearly see a reflection of a man's shoes as he tries to hide. This detail is particularly alarming given that Chris was chased out of the school during his initial visit. If he encounters the man again, things could escalate quickly, as squatters or homeless individuals are known to be hostile towards unwanted visitors. But Chris was completely unaware of this detail at the time. It wasn't until he reviewed the footage later that he saw the man hiding inside the room. Chris, oblivious to the man's presence, continued his exploration and started walking into the basement. However, just as Chris entered the basement, he suddenly heard a loud banging noise, and that's when things started to take a turn for the worse for Chris.
What the hell was that?
After Chris heard the loud bang, he placed his camera on the table and began clearing the path to investigate the noise. During this time, his camera captured a man walking away from him and hiding in the darkness. But again, Chris was completely unaware of the man's presence and was still trying to investigate the loud bang he'd heard earlier. However, while investigating the noise, that's when Chris encountered something that sent him running out of the building.
All these desks behind. Somebody's down here. I hear somebody talking. Somebody's down there.
According to Chris, when he noticed the man holding the flashlight, he also noticed him holding a firearm in his other hand. Chris, terrified for his life, immediately ran out of the basement, and that's when the man started shooting towards him. Fortunately for Chris, he managed to run away from the man just in time and didn't get hurt or injured during this chilling encounter. It's still unclear who this man was, along with what his true intentions were, but based on his appearance, it's very likely that this was the same individual Chris had encountered during his previous visit, and based on the man's actions that night, the man was probably a squatter or a homeless individual who didn't want Chris inside the building. During Chris's initial visit, the man screamed at Chris, which sent him out of the building. When Chris went back to the school, the man at first hid from him in various rooms. However, when Chris still didn't leave, the man revealed his presence and started shooting, forcing Chris to run out of the building once again. Not only did Chris leave, but he has not returned to Robert Fulton Elementary School in Cleveland since that night.